All right, let's talk about a skill that every single driver needs to have in their back pocket. Seriously. Because, it's not really a matter of if you'll get a flat tire, but when. And after this, you'll be more than ready to handle it.
You know the scene, right? You're driving along, minding your own business, maybe the music's on, and then you hear it. A sound that just feels wrong.
Yeah, that one. That weird rhythmic thumping noise that seems to match your speed. It's the unmistakable sound of your day about to take an unexpected detour. And there it is, a flat tire. Look, it's a hassle, nobody's going to pretend it's fun, but that sinking feeling, that little rush of panic, that part is 100% optional. This is a problem we can solve.
And that's exactly what we're going to do. Right here, right now, we're going to take that problem and turn it into a simple, straightforward plan.
So, first things first, you can't do any job without the right tools, right? So, Section 1 is all about getting your toolkit ready for success.
The great news is your car probably already has most of this stuff hiding in the boot. You should have a spare tire, a jack, and a wheel brace. Now, here's the key. You have to make sure that spare is actually inflated. Trust me on that one. Your owner's manual is also super important. It'll show you exactly where to place the jack. Wheel chocks are a huge safety plus, and, a pair of gloves and a reflective vest are things you'll be really glad you have.
Okay, now for what is, without a doubt, the most critical part of this whole thing. Section 2, Safety Before Speed. The goal here is not to be fast, it's to be safe. These next few steps, they are absolutely non-negotiable. The second you realize you've got a flat, your number one job is finding a safe spot to pull over. You need flat, solid ground. Trying to jack up a car on a grassy shoulder or, even worse, on a hill is just asking for trouble. It is so dangerous. Right, before you even think about stepping outside, you got to make your car seen and make it stay put. So hazard lights go on, and pull that handbrake up as far as it can go. This tells other drivers something's up and makes sure your car isn't going anywhere. And here's the final safety step. You need to chalk the wheel that's diagonally opposite the flat one. All that means is wedging something behind it to physically stop the car from rolling. If you don't have actual wheel chocks, a couple of big rocks will do the trick in a pinch. Okay, the car is safe, it's secure, and you are out of harm's way. So now it's time for the main event. Let's get into Section 3, the step-by-step swap. This is the sequence, and believe me, the order really matters. First, while the car is still on the ground, you use your wrench to just loosen the nuts. Don't take them off, just break them free. The car's weight keeps the wheel from spinning while you do it. Then you jack the car up, take the nuts and the flat tire off, and pop the spare on. Get the nuts on hand tight, lower the car, and then, only then, do you do the final tightening once the wheel is firmly back on the ground. Now pay attention, because here is a super important detail that so many people get wrong. Like the slide says, you have to tighten those nuts in a crisscross pattern. You can't just go in a circle. Why? Well, if you go in a circle, the wheel can end up being unevenly mounted, and that is a recipe for disaster. So what even is a crisscross pattern? It's really simple. Once you tighten one nut, you move to the one directly across from it. Then you move to another one, and then the one across from that. You're basically drawing a star. This whole method makes sure the pressure is spread out perfectly evenly so the wheel sits flush and secure. There's a reason it's the professional standard. All right, the spare is on. You are almost there. But don't just throw everything in the boot and drive off. Our last section here covers the final checks and a couple of pro tips for the road ahead. Here's your final checklist. Give every single one of those nuts one last pull with the wrench to make sure they're good and tight. Pack away the flat tire and all your tools so they're not rolling around. And remember, most spare tires are those little donuts, right? They aren't meant for highways or long trips. Drive carefully and make getting that original tire fixed your top priority. And here, this is how you go from just knowing the steps to being truly ready. The absolute best time to do this for the first time is not on the side of a dark, rainy road. Try it once in your driveway. And every couple of months, just check the air pressure in your spare. And hey, know when to call it. If you can't get the nuts to budge or you just don't feel safe, that is exactly what roadside assistance is for. So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's pretty simple, actually. The one thing that separates a stressful, panicked mess from just a manageable problem is preparation. It's not just about having the tools, it's about having the knowledge. That is what turns panic into confidence. So there you have it, the complete playbook from that first dreaded thump
all the way to driving off safely. You know the how, so the only question left is, are you ready for the when? Maybe after this, go take a peek in your boot. You'll be glad you did.